It's JG here with Earth 5D University, back for another teaching on consciousness, on expansion. And today we were going to talk about the ever so controversial topic of sex and sexuality. So I'm glad you're here, guys. Some of you know me from my tarot channel. Welcome, everyone. We are going to talk today about sexuality and how we can use our sexuality, how we can harness it, how we've been losing our power, how we've been losing our sexuality, how to maintain it, what that means. And I'm also going to do a meditation connecting you to the mother, the sacred mother-father energy that so many of us have disconnected from on this planet. Okay? So welcome. Let's get right into it, guys. All right, so sexuality. What does that even mean? So in our day and age, when we think about sexuality, oftentimes we think about, sadly, porn when you're an adult, right? And it starts early. So there's a lot of objectification going on, objectifying the female sexuality. Now, I'm inviting you to this conversation with, try to keep a very open mind, okay? Try to keep an open mind, try to use your own discernment, try to use your own logic, and just kind of work with me as we open up your mind to these new possibilities, okay? But if you're a man watching this, okay, this is no offense to you, because men did not, men collectively over thousands of years, and women have bought into it, have objectified female sexuality, meaning they've taken the power and they've used it for themselves without doing the work themselves, without having the power themselves, without developing the divine feminine within themselves. And so first note that we are a complete, in our ideal form, humans are a complete whole being. We are equally divine masculine, equally divine feminine. And those interweave in a beautiful combination of full human potential, okay? But it's gotten deconstructed on our planet. And so instead of having a whole, complete, perfect male and female energy inside of ourselves, we have got a mutant situation. It's like a mutant. That's the best you can call it. It's a mutant. And so sometimes we can cobble together a decent sort of healthy flowing sexuality using two whole people, a divine masculine and a divine feminine, bring them together in a way where they're not objectifying their sexuality and they're enjoying each other in a healthy way. Okay, so we know that does exist. There's such a thing as that. But even with that going on, there's huge pieces of sexuality that are missing from within ourselves and within our culture. And it's the biggest piece missing, and that's the only thing I'm going to talk about today. I mean, we could have hours and hours and hours of conversation about this and still not even scratch the tip of the iceberg or get to scratch below the surface. So we're just going to start now today talking about the divine feminine energy and what's happened to that. Okay? And so if you are a man watching this, consider the fact that you also have divine feminine energy within you that is seeking to find balance. So if you are currently wanting a sexual relationship, or you're currently in a sexual relationship, please know that your second chakra and your power, your sexuality and your power to create with sexuality is your biggest on earth right now, strongest spiritual gift to be using and harnessing. So if you're not aware of that, you're likely bleeding this area, bleeding your second chakra out. I'm not talking about like menstrual bleeding. I'm talking about bleeding your sexual chi, prana out, however you want to look at that energy. And so what we want to do, and what I wanted to invite you to consider, is how's your sexuality flowing in your life? Are you using your sexuality to help yourself, or are you using it without being aware that you have this big power source inside of you? So the beginning process of this is just acknowledging and honoring the fact that you have the sexual prana, the sexual chi energy. And if you are accidentally giving it away through, like, for instance, meaningless sex or even meaningful sex, but just not knowing that you're giving that power away to your partner. It doesn't have to be pointless sex. It could be bringing you guys together, but you still might not know the power behind it. You might not know, you might be using this tool to try to connect to your partner and not understand what that tool really is. And that's kind of like, let me try and figure out an analogy. There's a lot of funny ones, but it would be like giving a cell phone to like an ape or a chimpanzee and trying to teach them to use it. And they probably would use it maybe to hammer something, or maybe they could get sound out of it and think that that was cool, but they would not know how to use it as a telephone. They just wouldn't understand. And so we have our sexuality, and we can get some kind of satisfaction out of it, and some fullness and some beauty in our life at times. But there's so much more that you could be doing with this, with your sexuality. And so I feel like the first thing to just kind of touch base on is to just kind of recognize that you have this sexual energy and begin to harness it, begin to use it yourself. And I'm not necessarily talking about masturbating, although that could be part of this. You have to, use your own discernment there, like what feels good for you, etc. I'm just talking about focusing on your second chakra and seeing where that energy goes. Because what I would invite you to do is to allow it to flow through you, allow it to connect to source, and allow it to flow through you. And so this is very much connected to having a very healthy mother and father dynamic as you were growing up, being mothered and being fathered in a way that was very, very nurturing. And since we didn't have that, there's just broken pieces of us on earth. And so there's a little bit of brokenness, or a lot of brokenness. And so when we look at the objectification of female energy, and how it's pretty much been like, I feel like it's been slaughtered sort of thing. It's just like a big mutant where women are just objectified for the sex, just only for their physicality. And it's like taking something and sort of like just destroying it. And I'm saying that in the most loving way, but it's there, right? It's there. So it's just gotten to be, I'm not going to do this whole big lecture on our society and how messed up it is, because all you have to do is look around you, so wake up, look around you. Women's sexuality is not meant to be like, oh, women's sexuality. You could turn on porn at any moment and see something. It's sacred. It would be like going to a sacred temple or a sacred site and like making it a garbage dump, or not understanding that there's something sacred there. You don't even have to make it a garbage dump. It's not that extreme. This is sometimes very, very subtle energy that we're talking about, subtle ways that your sexuality has been distorted as a feminine. Now, men, this is a different, we can address that in another video, but I would ask you too, men who are watching this, to consider how you are viewing a female. Are you seeing them as sacred? Are you seeing their body as a temple? Now, I guarantee you, I understand that if the woman doesn't see herself that way, there isn't any amount of conversation or any amount of energy you could give that female to help her to understand her own sacredness. So I know that exists here too in reality. Is that there's plenty of divine masculines who are waking up to female divinity and the female energy of divinity, and the power to give life, the power to create sacred union, the flower of life, creativity, everything that we have, this fountain of beautiful second chakra energy, love, right? This life-giving force. So I'm not talking about wearing, like, being a Puritan. I'm not talking about not wearing clothes that are revealing. I mean, I believe in fully accentuating the female figure and the divine feminine. However, it is what you decide to do with that energy. Are you females coming from a place of neediness? Are you Do you find yourself using your sexuality to get what you want out of a man? See, that's dark. That's not the way you want things to be flowing for you. You want to begin today to connect, okay? Yourself, connect to your second chakra. Imagine how that chakra is spinning. Is it spinning? Is there black in there? Is there light in there? Look in, just observe, okay? And to see what's going on in your second chakra. Close your eyes and open up your mind's eye right now. What do you see in your second chakra? Get a visual. You know, is it like a flower? Is it rainbow color? Is it light? Is it dark? Is it heavy? Is it, you know, and begin to sort of explore that area inside of yourself. And then I would also invite you to try to bring that energy. Imagine you guys are spiritually advanced. If you're on this channel, I know you are. Imagine bringing that energy up, and just see how far you can get it. Can you connect to source with your energy? Can you bring it back down from source? Can you allow it to be kind of rehabilitated? Can you feel all your divinity? Can you experience that as it flows back down into the Mother Earth and recycle back up and up to the Father, Son, source energy and back down? And so this is an exercise you can do to kind of take back your second chakra, take back your divine feminine, and you, divine masculine, can do the very same to start to bring this kind of healing balance of the equal parts of the divine masculine and feminine inside of you. And as we do that, then the darker energies on the planet can't make a power grab for your sexuality, because those darker forces are out there, you know? And it's so subtle. And this is something I teach in my spiritual guidance sessions, is that dark energy, I mean, the most, it gets so like, but the most subtle darker energy is obviously the most detrimental and dangerous, because you can't see it. It's a slow leak that's the problem of energy. You could have big gaping holes of energy that are escaping you, and you can feel it. You're like, this is bad. I can feel this is a massive energy grab. Something's sucking my energy, right? But what about those tiny little leaks that finally give you like a flat tire, right? That nail in your tire, and you're like, darn it, you know, pretty soon it's gonna give you a flat tire, but it's a slow leak. And that's like the darker energies are the most subtle, because you don't even notice that they're there. They're trying to like put the wool over your eyes, right? But whenever you see that there's rape, whenever you see that there's violence, whenever you see that there's children being kidnapped, being used, whenever there's human trafficking, and this, as long as there's that story and conversation on our planet, then we are not fully present yet to our how we're behaving with our second chakras as a people. So you can start with you. We can begin to start with ourselves and sort of find out and explore. And it's very personal for you. That's why I'm not going to give you some kind of formula, no dogma. Maybe I'll give you a technique. I shared one. But this is about you and you, your connection to source, and how you feel you can be healthy in your sexuality. So I would also consider that if you're looking to find some fulfillment through your sexuality and like a hookup or something, but you haven't yet done this kind of work, I would consider that you begin with yourself and your own energy there before you go out and look for intimacy, emotional and physical intimacy with a partner. Okay, so just consider that, because once you give your sexuality away, we're not sure what's going to happen to that, right? We're not sure, but you do know what's going to happen to it if you are in control of it. Okay, so these are things to consider. I'm inviting you to this conversation. Think about this for yourself. Okay, it's an invitation to consider what this means for you in your life, what it means to have a temple inside of you of the divine feminine, and what that temple looks like, and definitely what it doesn't look like, and paying attention to those slow leaks in your energy where you feel like there's some kind of slow leak and it's just taking your power away, right? It's a power grab. Okay, so these are all things to consider. So I wanted to do a meditation with you. It's one of the most powerful that I've discovered, in the last, maybe it's 3 years. I haven't found it quite as powerful as a meditation technique. I've done some meditations of my own that I think are beautiful that you can connect to in my Divine Union Invocation class if you ever guys feel like taking that. But this is by Juvalo Melchizedek, and he is a healer and a modern day mystic. And you guys might have heard of him, but I'm going to start now and just walk you through this meditation. And I'm sorry that I can hear my washer and dryer in the background. Hopefully it's providing some white noise. All right, so why don't you guys take a deep breath in? Obviously you can skip this if you're not in the mood. So my cat came by for the healing. So we're gonna now center yourself inside of yourself. You're gonna pull your energy back from all different locations, right? Wherever you think, you don't even have to think. Wherever you've given your energy away, imagine it now coming back to you. Okay? Imagine it now coming back to you. And now imagine your energy very powerfully in your heart chakra, in your heart space. Put your attention there. With the intention of creating greater love, balance of the divine masculine and feminine inside of you. Okay? And then now imagine that your energy from your heart space shoots kind of like a rocket. However fast it goes, it doesn't matter. All the way up, up, up to the central sun, where you give the Father unconditional love from your heart, from your soul. And imagine that you're giving that energy, the Father energy, unconditional love. And without a shadow of a doubt, it automatically always comes back to you. And you feel that unconditional love flow through you, back through your crown and all the way down to your heart space, where you feel the love, unconditional love of your Father, source energy. Let that fill you. And now we're gonna send that energy from our heart space all the way down to the core, to the crystals inside Mother Earth, Gaia Mother, where you send her your unconditional love. And always, automatically, she sends you unconditional love right back at you. Times 100. And allow that to come flow right up into your heart space, where you feel that love of the Divine Mother and Father loving you, holding you in your heart. Feel that care and love, being cared for unconditionally in your heart space. Now imagine there's a tiny, tiny heart inside of your heart, where there's unlimited potential, unlimited love, unlimited life force. And imagine can you go inside your tiny heart? Can you see inside of there? And if you can, go in there and receive that love. Receive that wholeness and completeness so that you see how worthy you are, how sacred you are, how sacred your life force is, your sexuality and your life force. And how beautiful you are and full and complete. Just be in that energy, be in that perfection, unconditional love. And breathe and pause it and stay there as long as you like, as long as you need. And I always say wash, rinse, and repeat. Do the same thing. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Do that same method. Do that again as long as you need to, for as long as you need to really connect to yourself, to connect to your infinite wisdom. And I'm not joking. Like this, that technique will change your life. Okay, so I hate to leave you like this is like in my spiritual guidance sessions. So it's like I don't want them to stop, but so I'm going to give you guys a big virtual hug. Okay, much love and light, and I hope this has assisted you. If you like it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this. And find me over at my tarot channel if you want more insight into yourself. Okay, bye guys, lots of love.